Hey, everybody.
Hi.
About to say good morning, and it's definitely not morning.
That's funny because I said, I wonder where you're going to be from because I know you guys are all over the place.
I'm in northern Chicago area. That's my dogs barking, who decided it's 3 o'clock and they've got to let us know. You guys are on Eastern time, yes?
Yes,
It's 4 o'clock your time?
it is. Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm Veronica. Nice to meet you. It
Meet
looks
you.
like Raspberry
Yes.
is she's got she's got some issues with people, is what it's sounding like, yes?
It's issues with dogs,
Okay.
dog reactivity.
Okay. With
Yeah.
people, she's okay. It's just dogs from that she sees from inside the house when you guys are outside on walks. It looks like you guys have been doing a lot of work already with some like look at that training and stuff. Talk to me about what's going on.
So we're fostering her. And she was highly stressed out in the shelter. And when we brought her here, I think there was like this like deep decompression period where she was really just trying to settle in. And then so we've had her for 2 months now. And I'd say like the past, sorry, she's squeaking a ball really loudly. That's what that is. The past like 5 or 6 weeks, it seems like her her triggers are just like growing with her ability to just enjoy being outside of the backyard. Because we have a fenced in backyard. But it's like the bunnies, the squirrels, the cars, the dogs, like everything seems to kind of be like compounding. The dogs are like the blow your lid type reaction, but she's very smart, very, very smart. So she remembers where she's seen anything. And
Right.
then anytime past that point, she's already on like high alert, like um crazy, like pulling, like ears very stiff. Her tail is like alert. And she's already anticipating that there's going to be some type of trigger that she's going to need to react at, even
Okay.
if it's not there anymore. So we were kind of starting to feel a little bit like this dog needs exercise and mental stimulation. She's Shepherd. Oh, she's laying on her dog bed over here. I don't know if you
Oh,
can.
hi, baby. Look at you playing with your ball.
Oh yeah, she's great at doing this. Like she plays very well, like with self-entertaining, but I don't know that
Good.
it's enough to really help burn this anxious energy that she has.
Yeah.
And it's just so new because like first couple weeks she was here, like Chris could take her on like a 3 mile walk, no problem. And she was like in a zone where she could enjoy it. And like that just kind of like went out the window.
Soon
Okay.
as the wildlife and people started coming back out with dogs, like in the
Yeah.
winter, she was great.
Yeah. I was gonna say it sounds like a lot like it coincided with springtime, right? When
Mhm.
everything just starts to come out again. So, okay.
So
Okay.
our big fear is that like we don't want it to like perpetuate this cycle of anxious energy that can't be burned. So then every time she goes out, she's already like anxious. We thought she was enjoying her walks, but I'm not really positive if like she is getting enjoyment out of all of them. So we're just really, yes, you trying to figure out a way to help her if we can minimize even just the intensity of the reactions so that she can enjoy parts of being out of the backyard and being out and able to sniff new smells and see new things. Like that's kind of where I think we're a little stuck.
Okay. And when she's in the backyard, can she self-play back there too? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, she loves these like squeaky tennis ball toys and she'll like continue to get them out of her bucket and she can't have enough of them and she's just constantly throwing them around for herself. Like she kicks them through her legs and then she jumps and she kicks them again and
Oh
then
my
she
God.
jumps. Yeah,
So
so she's
adorable.
very good at she was an Amish farm dog, so she was good at I guess occupying her time because I don't know what else she did on the farm.
Sure.
Yeah, she has like a rock obsession. That was her toy of choice, I think, for
Yeah.
teeth. terrible. They're so small from, you can tell she was just like,
Gnawing at them probably. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So these soft squeaky balls are much nicer for her teeth, but not for talking. So I apologize if it's
I
very,
can barely hear it, so she can
oh,
step
good.
away. If that's what's helping her to de-escalate, she can go
All
for it.
right.
I can't hear it.
Here we go.
Look at her. She's
Yeah,
got that mouth that just shows like I am so happy. She's almost got that derpy tongue hanging off the side.
she
Oh
sure
my,
does.
she's just so happy. Oh my God, get that ball. Oh my, so
He's
cute.
house.
She's
Yeah,
like,
she's a good in the house dog for being a farm dog. She has like never had accidents in the house. She doesn't we have to block her from the kitchen because she's really food motivated and will counter surf, but
okay,
she has very nice manners in the house.
nice.
Which is good. So there are periods of her day, like she'll be gone, we'll be gone, and she'll be alone for like 5 hour chunks. And she does know how to like self-soothe in the house. It's just, yeah, outside is a different story.
Okay. I'm glad that you're so cognizant of what can we do to decrease her overall level of arousal so that you're in a better spot if you were to go outside, right?
Hmm.
Instead of like starting super escalated and then just continuing the walk. And I
Yeah.
also like that self-reflection of, I'm not sure if you're enjoying walks
Right.
anymore based on all of the things going on. So that's tremendous that you've even arrived to those points. The behaviors you're describing makes me wonder the same things. I wonder if she's enjoying the walks or if she's just hyper vigilant a lot of the time, where she's
Yeah.
always like looking for where the next thing is. We
Hmm.
can rely a lot on her body language to tell us how she's feeling,
Hmm.
and that will probably be the big key for you guys in determining, should we do this or should we do that? Is
Hmm.
she actually calming down, or is this not helping as we try different strategies? Um, One of the first things that you can do is, well, I'll send you a lot of resources just regarding body language because there's such a good foundational thing to get
Hmm.
to know for her. But being mindful of her trigger stacking, I think, is going to help.
Hmm.
And have you heard that concept, trigger stacking,
Hmm.
before? Okay, so you
Yeah.
guys are familiar with that. I think to start off with, we can work on management inside the house to start to set us up for success for when we do want to leave the house. So, step one, let's try to prevent the rehearsal of the undesirable behaviors. That way, we keep her lower and under threshold. For example, every time she sees a dog passing by the window and she barks at them, we've gone up a stress level, right? That
Hmm.
happened. And then we go outside and we see some bunnies and some squirrels, that goes up another notch. And it just keeps going up. And it doesn't take long before she's over threshold.
Yeah.
Some of the things we can't control, like the bunnies
Hmm.
and the squirrels, right? Can't do
Hmm.
anything about it. But you can control what she has access to, like looking out the window. So, like that window that you showed right there, is that look where she can see stuff passing by the house? Does she bark through that window or any other windows of the house?
She does. If she sees a dog, she will jump very high and bark at that window.
Okay. So we can do a couple of things to try to, from a foundational, like get to the root aspect to remove that as a possibility. One of two ways, depending on the setup of your house, we could either block her access to the room, may or
Hmm.
may not be feasible, because if she can't go to the room to look out the window, problem solved, right? You can also draw the blinds, draw the shades. If you don't like to live in the dark, I don't. I have window film as the next. You probably can't see it, but that window right there behind me has window frosting up because my
Okay.
dog likes to sit on this couch behind me and look out that window and bark at the things that go by. So I have
Okay.
window frosting up so that the light still comes in, but
Hmm.
it blurs the vision for her, so she's much less likely to notice what's out
Hmm.
there. It's not foolproof. She can still see shadows or something,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes, but she's far less likely to end up reacting to something that she sees passing by. So I'm removing the opportunity for her to bark at whatever the thing is in the first place. Does
Mhm.
that sound something that would be feasible for your home, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think a film would make more sense than like blocking her from a room just because she's comfortable like on the couch area in the
Okay,
room.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it mostly her barking when she sees dogs, or will she, even if she can't see them, if she hears them, does that set her off too?
Inside the house, occasionally if she hears like we have dogs on both sides of us, and there's a Chihuahua next door who barks a lot more than the other dogs in the neighborhood. And so his bark will set her off to want to go and find the source to bark at.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and then we have a fenced-in backyard, and so if he's barking in his fenced-in backyard, she'll go and try to run to like that area to like jump around over there. Although when outside, when she's doing that, like I can distract her with one of her squeaky balls and she like comes back. But inside, I haven't tried the squeaking, like when she's already like locked in and barking. One time I like tapped her and she did not appreciate that.
Okay.
She gave me like a frantic like quick head turn, like not like just like a warning air snap,
Sure.
like she like connect to me, but like she was definitely like, don't do that.
Okay.
So whenever she does get that high up, like a squeaky ball in the house doesn't do it either. So I guess more like just prevention would help.
Yeah, because we can teach her skills eventually to calm down for sure. You see a dog, you can bark once, thank you for letting me know, then calm down. We can always train for that later. But like
Hmm.
that step one is let's get you down under threshold because we can't train you or teach you anything when you're like so bananas that I can't even touch you, right?
Right.
She's not in the thinking and learning zone. By then she's just like fight, flight, what's going on? Let's get him, whatever it is that's going on in her brain. Okay, so for the visual part, some kind of window film, and you can get it at like Home Depot,
Yeah.
Lowe's, Amazon, right? Anything that you find on there doesn't have to be super fancy or anything. For the sound part of it, if you want to try to get ahead of that, have you experimented with any sound masking? Anything to kind of block out the noises? How did that go? Okay.
Yeah, we have like an air purifier fan that can get pretty loud, so we run that whenever we're gone. And then we try to run it throughout the day, but like if we're like opening like the sliding, like we have a split level house and there's like a porch on the second level. So if we're opening that sliding door to do anything, and she hears it out there, it's kind of like if the windows are open or the dog is exceptionally loud. But it's much more manageable for I think the barking than it is for the seeing. Like the sound
Okay.
masking has, I think that does help a lot because like I'll see a dog and like she won't hear it, and if she's like doing something and doesn't see it, then like we'll be good. But like if that dog comes out as Chris opened the door and she hears him on the porch, then she's like running from whatever room she was in, even though the sliding door then is closed again. Like she knew it was he was barking from that door.
Got it.
Um, Going.
Okay. Okay.
It's kind of like weird to me a little bit too, because I mean, like, I don't know how much we can trust really like intake surrender forms, but like she supposedly lived on the farm with other dogs.
Mhm.
And they just made a notes that like her hackles would go up and she took a long time to warm up, but I don't know. Jeez, girl. She almost knocked my computer over looking for her ball. I don't know like how legitimate that
Hey,
is
hey, hey,
from
hey.
like a surrender form. Sorry,
Sure.
she's trying to do some parkour to get her ball back in the house. She's an athlete, this dog.
Good. I love that she can just
Yeah,
self-entertain. That's wonderful. That's a great, great skill for her.
it
Yeah,
is.
I agree. It's always hard to judge that and the background. And even if she was around other dogs, to what extent did she engage with them? How did
Right.
she engage with them? Right?
Yeah, I
So
know
what
because she had like scars on her eyebrows, like just different things that I'm like, I don't know if she did that, like, scratching, but Bless you.
Gosh.
But there are a couple like marks on her that I feel like maybe she got played roughly with by other dogs, if that were
Sure.
the case.
Maybe. I mean, if she's a farm dog too, maybe she was playing too rough with something under some big object. So I can also see like that being part of like some scratches and
That's,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Um, I thought about something when you mentioned opening the door. Oh, if opening like a sliding door can be a trigger, because I mean it's spring, so I imagine we're gonna go in and out more often, right? As I guess for when we're inside, another thing you can consider is putting something that's a sound masking device by the door, like just by the door
Oh,
itself, just to see if that's going to help. I don't know if that's going to make like 100% difference, but it might do something.
hmm.
It'd be worth testing out. There's portable machines, or if you have like a smart speaker in your phone and you can ask it to play something, just have it right by the door. I think whatever you use, just make sure it's something that you can live with, right? If it's going to be
Yeah.
on a lot. I have, you probably can't hear it, but I have white noise machines playing in my house.
Oh,
It's fine for me. I like it. It's honestly soothing,
I
but
agree.
yeah, some people hate it. Some people are like, I cannot stand that noise. Whatever. Pick
Mhm.
whatever is going to be manageable for you to live with, but that's going to either block out sounds for her or just help her be calm, kind of either one of them. I'm going more for just blocking the sound, I think is
Okay.
the idea for her. Again,
Okay.
with the main point is to try to keep her under threshold, at least for when she's
Right.
inside the house.
Okay. That makes
Right.
sense.
The other part of this, so that's inside the house, and it looks like those are the biggest problems inside, right? Her seeing
Yes.
dogs, squirrels, bunnies, cars, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it is her, I'm just looking through your history form, is the stuff that's outside, the
Right.
behavior when she's outside. Okay. And
Yeah.
you've been trying, look at that on
Yeah.
walks. Talk to me a little bit about that, on how that
Um,
goes.
so initially, whenever it seemed like it was like just one thing that was setting her off, that had been working decently on walks, where we just do like a loud click sound. We don't have like we're louder than the clicker, so we do just like a loud
Sure.
click sound, and then she would get her treats. Like we were even trying to like do it just very frequently throughout the walk, like anytime she just looked calm, like doing it.
Sure.
So she would come back to us. Um,
There are a lot of times she's so gone though that
over
I can't
threshold.
hear you.
Okay.
Um, I was proud of her, and maybe I shouldn't be, but she definitely has made the connection because that she's supposed to be checking in with us because a couple times now she's heard dogs barking at her inside a house when she's walking past the house, and
Mhm.
she's turned back to my hand to like look for the treat. So I know like she's really smart. Like she's making connections when she's able. Did you lose your ball again? When she's able to stay in that zone. Um, we're just very infrequently able to stay in that zone. And that was where the look at that, because it seems like, so we're on a cul-de-sac. And so for us to like get out on the road part, she's like, before we're even off the driveway, she's already like, oh,
Okay.
like very threshold because one time there was a bunny in a bush across the street.
Oh,
And
no.
then one time there was one 2 houses down. And so she's already like scanning for that thing. So we've tried, like, we have great neighbors. We've tried, like, instead of using the road, just cutting through people's yards at the end of the cul-de-sac to get
Nice.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, like, seems to help a little bit. But then again, like, once she remembers where she saw something, she's already then the next time. And so, I was kind of becoming at a loss for if it was better to vary the start, if it was better to teach her a routine and pray to God that like the beginning of the routine goes smoothly a couple times so she
Sure.
starts to make that connection. So look at that does she understands that connection. It's just we are having a hard time staying under threshold.
Right. Right. And if she's not able to take food, that's a big indicator to me that she's over her threshold. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's
She's
information.
very food motivated. Like,
Okay.
yeah, she's a little underweight. Like we can't keep the calories going enough for her.
Okay. Okay.
Hey girl, did you
So
lose
she
your book?
likes, this is a weird question. So when she, let's say right now, on a given week, how often are you going on walks? Like, what percent of the time are you going on walks where you feel she was under threshold most of the time, if not the whole time, and experienced very few stressors while on the walk?
So that's a good question. We've been trying to time things because we do, like I said, we have a fenced in backyard, but she never poops in the backyard. And so we always have to like try to leash walk her at least a little bit for her to like, I think she gets too excited to play in the backyard that like she doesn't always remember that like, oh, I should go potty while I'm out here too. Um, and so we have to at least leash walk her a short distance 3 times a day, like after breakfast, sometime like in the afternoon chunk, and then like in the evening. So at least she has the opportunity to do that. And the walks can vary. Like sometimes they last like 4 minutes because we can tell like she's very over threshold immediately and she's gonna hurry up and go to the bathroom like 3 houses down there's like a little they call it the tot lot like our township has like a couple little playgrounds that they have
Hmm.
around and so the end of the street there's like a more grassy area and a lot of the dogs go to the bathroom down there so she sometimes that's all the farther like she can go she goes she does her business and we're like this is gonna fail like so we leave other times I would say in the like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whenever Chris comes home from his first job. She does a little bit better because I think there's fewer people, cars, dogs in the neighborhood, and he can
Right.
get up a mile and a half in. Um, and then that it seems like the beginning couple minutes and the end couple minutes are when she's over threshold and then the middle like 15 minutes she's enjoying better when there's fewer distractions in that afternoon chunk so I think it really depends on like I'd say maybe she enjoys from like 10% of a walk to maybe like 60% of a walk
Because it just
um
depends on the
mhm,
setup and okay.
mhm,
Okay. I like the idea of going at the like around 1 in the afternoon, like a low peak time of day. That's an excellent
mhm,
management strategy to be like, we know that she's going to go bananas at all the other things. So let's try to pick a time when few other people are out. So most people are either working or at school, therefore not walking their dogs. That's
right.
definitely a strategy. If you want to have a walk for either your guys' enjoyment and or her enjoyment, like just to get out, sniff something different other than the yard. Another option, you can tell me if this is feasible, is to get in the car and drive somewhere else that's more quiet. I have to do this with my dogs, and
Mhm,
we drive to like an office complex. There's like a road where there's a bunch of different ones, and we just pick a different part
mhm.
of it like every day because
Yeah,
they hate other dogs, and it's never gonna
yeah.
get better. So that's just what we do.
Well, we didn't think about the office
No, we
complexes.
did.
We had been taking her places, but a couple weeks ago, she had like a major meltdown, like a panic attack in the car where she
Okay.
was lunging at the windows, barking at other cars, and he didn't make it
Got it.
past like a few houses out of the neighborhood. But we live by a movie theater, and he was able to pull into that parking lot, and they walked laps around the parking lot, like the empty parking lot,
Yeah, good.
until it seemed like she was able to come down from it. Have you tried to drive her since then? I have not tried to drive her since that major meltdown moment, but that's not saying that given enough like squeaky ball toys in the car, you know, that she couldn't just like reoccupy herself. It was really weird because we had previously been able to drive her around and she kind of would just sit like a person in the back seat and look out the back window at like a station wagon. But after that moment, like I don't know what happened. It was like she just had like a full on like panic attack.
Hmm.
Um, 2 days in a row, like the day before that, she was just like had a meltdown at cars passing her, which was like a big escalation of any time like a car has ever passed her.
The
Um,
faster the car would go, the bigger the
Hmm.
reaction.
Okay.
um, and then the next day, because of that, we were like, well, we'll just drive her somewhere. And then she had this like meltdown. So that was like what, 3 weeks ago?
Probably.
Probably 3 weeks ago at this point. It was like around Easter. So we haven't tried putting her in a car since then, but like the office complex thing, that's a really good suggestion because we have a couple of those like business parks like near us with
Yeah,
that close at 5 and then yeah,
exactly. And
nobody's
then
there.
everybody's gone. Exactly. And the
Yeah,
weekends too.
yeah, that's a
That's
great idea.
But her getting, I don't want her to have a meltdown in the car though. That was pretty sudden, it sounds like. Her,
Hmm.
that like a big difference from I'm fine in the car and all of a sudden it's like a
Hmm.
flip of a switch that she's going bananas and it's to cars. At least that you can tell. Like it's not to people, to dogs or whatever. It's mostly to the cars.
When she did it, there it was just cars. There were no people or dogs out because it was at like that random like 1:30, 2 o'clock range,
Yeah.
and we were just driving to even leave the neighborhood. Like we didn't make it out of the neighborhood.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, okay. Would she, I think one thing to ask is, do you think, or has she before been able to work on like a stuffed Kong or a chew bone or something in the car? Have you ever offered her anything like that in the car?
We previously hadn't needed anything. She does like that kind of stuff, so we could absolutely do that. Like she loves any type of like puzzle toy or like some kind of snack like that.
I think you could try it and see how far you get. I'm curious
Hmm.
to see if like, but start with like, we're in the car, do you have a garage? A car in the
Hmm.
garage? Okay, so let's say the car is in the garage and you start in there. She gets in the car. I want her to like engage with the toy pretty easily. If you're
Hmm.
backing out of the driveway and she is like not paying any attention to that toy and she's already going bananas, abort. Just abort
Okay.
because I don't want to have her repeat that meltdown. The more
Hmm.
opportunities that she has to practice the behaviors that we don't want, the better
Hmm.
she's going to get at them. So
Right.
anything that we can do to avoid that would be good. It's interesting that it was so sudden, that
Hmm.
particular change in her behavior. The
It's like a flip of the switch.
This is the
right.
only thing that like I can think back to like she had gotten spayed and so then she was on restricted activity for a week like while her incision healed. And
Mhm.
so I don't know if she just like lost her exposure tolerance to like seeing stuff, but it was like as if she had never seen a car before and she was like, I need to kill this thing. What is it? Like just like snapped in her. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Like she was on short walks for just like quickly to go potty and then come back because she wasn't allowed to be exploring and out walking for
Right.
I think 7 days at least. And then that happened like 2 or 3 days after she started taking her walks again.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's a realistic assumption that you can lose your tolerance. I don't know, but
I'm not ruling it out. Yeah, who knows? So it sounds like she has had veterinary care recently, because that was going to be another
yeah.
question. Normally, when there are really sudden changes in behavior, I'm thinking something medical is going on. So that's
Hmm.
why I asked. This sounds like might have been related to maybe we took some time off from being out and about, and yeah, then the world was just a whole lot once we got back out into it, maybe.
She does have an active Lyme infection right now.
I saw that. Yeah. Okay.
So, and when she got spayed, they ran the blood work then, and then they had to like, because they said she'll always test positive, so they have to like send out the sample. And by the time it came back, then like we hadn't started the antibiotics at that point when she was having her meltdown moment. But I don't really know very much about Lyme disease. That's my only my only data point to offer here is that she had an active infection that was going untreated.
Okay.
Um, at that moment of meltdown.
And as far as medications go, it looks like she had been prescribed gabapentin and trazodone as needed for her anxiety. Talk to me
Yeah.
about those and if you've used those and how that's gone.
When she was living at Paws, she needed a really high dose of it because she was like trashing her kennel and like destroying things, like just bouncing off the walls. And they were trying to make sure she wouldn't hurt herself with all that extra pent up anxiety. So she was prescribed a pretty high dose. And then in a home situation, like the dose could be half of what they were giving her as needed for anxiety. We give her we give her the gabapentin right now because of her Lyme diagnosis. And then I had been giving her the trazodone with the gabapentin just once a day to try to just help take the edge off because they had said they were hoping to start her on like what is that fluoxetine, like the daily,
Mhm.
but they can't while she has this antibiotic and this active infection. They wanted to just do one thing at a time.
I see. Okay. Got it.
So, and even then, they said it would take a couple weeks to build up in her system to see if it made a difference for just that like oozing anxiety that she has whenever she's going about her day.
Right.
Um, so we're really only using the trazodone and gabapentin on a low dose to potentially just to see if it's going to help with her reaction to her triggers. I do think that the trazodone does help, but I also didn't want to give it to her twice a day and totally like just dope her up.
Yeah.
Um, so we've just been doing it like once a day, and she still will bark, but I'm able to get her attention back a little bit faster with it.
Good. And,
Not perfectly, but like
but better.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the couple times that she's had like total meltdowns, like I've struggled. I think I'm pretty strong, and she has a front clip harness, but I struggled with even knowing how to like safely get her home because like I had her like short leashed enough, but she was still just like lunging and barking and pulling so much that I thought she was going to pull me over.
Geez.
Um, and
Very, very
she's
strong.
very
She's
strong.
strong for
Sure.
me, son.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And like again, like we try not to like get in front of her while she's doing that because we try to like turn her if she's barking, like let's like a flight, like retreat,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
But the one time I accidentally like walked in front of her while I was doing it and like she did the air snap at me again for that. Like she did not like that I broke her line of sight to the thing. So now it's hard to like we've kind of figured out now how we like maneuver so that we're not walking in front of her, but like when she is like raging, she's just very strong. And it took me probably 5 minutes to just like hide behind like a bush on like the side
Yeah.
of the road
I've
to
done that.
like talk to her to be like, we are okay. That was scary. Yes. And tried to like until she was not in like a treat zone, but she was at least not in like a psychotic rage mode. So we were able to go like a couple of steps at a time and a couple of steps at a time. And then finally we got close enough and we just like kind of ran really quickly together, like back to the house. But um
When you did
I have
get back to the house, how long did it take her to like settle? Or because
it,
was she still amped
yeah,
for a bit? Okay.
it took a while. She likes lick mats, so I
Good.
put together a lick mat for her. And it took her like a minute of just like laying with it and like panting before she actually started on it. But she did eat the lick mat. and she was still kind of like panting afterwards. I'd say it probably took 20 minutes for her to stop panting after that.
Okay.
But in that time, she was at least able to like take the lick mat.
Okay. That's so all of that was very helpful. Thank you for sharing all of that because I've gotten a lot of pieces of information that I'll relay back to you so we can start to paint a picture of
Hmm.
what I think some of our next steps could be.
Okay.
The doxycycline, or the antibiotic, what if it's
Yeah.
doxycycline, right? Okay. So
Mhm.
if she's getting doxycycline, I imagine that she's going to be taking it for a few weeks.
I think
Yeah.
it was
Yeah. It's
like a
like a month.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
That's usually what happens. So it's not a short amount of time, unfortunately. Did she just start it? Are we halfway through? Where are we at in that sequence?
She started on the 10th of April, so like about
Oh,
halfway.
okay. So at least there's hope. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on the back end of it at least.
Mhm.
I absolutely love the idea of we're going to get that behind us and then revisit one of those daily anxiolytics like the fluoxetine that was explained before. When we do multiple medication changes at once, it can be hard to tell what's doing what because there's too
Right.
much that happened.
Right.
We look at medications like fluoxetine when the number of things that are stressing her out are too hard to control,
Hmm.
right? And there's only so many things in your guys' control. We can control the windows, we can maybe the sound, we can avoid going on walks, we can avoid seeing other dogs, but you can't avoid cars. You can't avoid the squirrels and the birds and the bunnies and all the things, right? So, and she also can't be a prisoner in the house. Eventually, you want her to go out on walks and she wants to live the world. So, just the sheer number of stressors tells me, okay, that's a flag for me.
Hmm.
How long it takes her to get over an event after she's super aroused. So that
Hmm.
20 minutes, and that's after she's home, right? It
Hmm.
still took you that 5 minutes to calm down behind that bush to walk a
Hmm.
few steps. So that's flag number two. So even just those tell me she's a good candidate for something like an antidepressant like fluoxetine. And
Okay.
the way those work is that they don't necessarily fix her. They don't fix any
Right.
behavior per se. They just have the ability where if her threshold is here and she so easily like goes up there and stays there, it helps her
Hmm.
stay down here more often. And
Hmm.
if she's down here more often, then she can be more responsive to your look at that training, to your
Hmm.
emergency U-turn that you're trying to teach her. Because if
Hmm.
she's so aroused that you getting in front of her when you're trying to do the flight cue away, it's not the flight cue is not going to work because she can't really hear you. She can't really think in that time. So I do think that that's a good idea. I do think that you'll see hopefully changes in her behavior. Have you worked with or fostered dogs that have been on fluoxetine or antidepressants before?
We haven't fostered them. So I volunteer at Paws too. Like I walk dogs and do things with them. She's our first foster. Our dog before her was 14 when he passed.
Oh my
The
goodness.
black on the wall. Yeah, the
Oh,
black. Um,
baby.
yeah, so we are like, whoo, opposite ends of what we were just used
Right.
to. He was a man of the world. Like he loved being in public, being seen. Like he, so
It's
these
like
are,
the baseball games.
yeah, we took him to a
Oh,
Pirates game for dog night. Like he loved being out in
I love
public.
it.
Yeah.
And now
So
you
these,
have Raspberry.
right. And then we keep saying we got razzle dazzled by getting her. Like, um, and so, but at Paws, like I have like worked with other dogs who were on that medicine for like trainings that your company has recommended, and like then I would have watched the videos and they would like help come up with plans for some of the other dogs. So I have worked with other dogs who were taking those meds, and I did see a good improvement in a lot of their like threshold levels with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, the reason I asked is because I'm glad that you've had good experiences with it. Every dog is different, and there are
Yeah.
some dogs where you give them a drug like fluoxetine and they just turn into a zombie. They're like depressed, they don't want to do anything. And if that happens, then that
Mhm.
means that's not the right medicine for her. But there's other medications out there. I tried fluoxetine on my one dog and she did horribly, and we changed to a different medication and she did fine. So everybody's different, just like in humans. So
Hmm.
just keep that in the back of your mind as you guys are the ones watching her day in and day out if that medication is started. Medications like the trazodone, oh my God, so subtle. You're so subtle, sweetheart. Are you a lap dog?
Oh
Are you
yeah.
a
No.
lap dog? She's like, I don't see why I'm not. Oh my God, stop it. Look at that face. Look at that face. Oh my God, kisses, more kisses. She's
I'll
just
take
so sweet. She's
She
just got
wants
such
her.
big feelings.
big, big feelings. I know. We need to work on these meltdowns, huh, honey?
Well, drugs
Yeah.
like trazodone, if have you so you have noticed a difference on like the mornings that you give her trazodone versus the mornings that you don't?
It's subtle, but yes.
Okay.
But it does make her
Okay.
very
We
tired.
don't always give it to her in the morning either.
It's like more
Okay.
like middle of the day, so that we were hoping that like she could have
She get
success
like
in the evenings.
Smart. Yeah, I like that. And if you notice that it makes her either kind of drowsy, you can let the vet staff know because again, there's lots of other medications out there. If you find that it works, great. Then you can
Or
continue to use it.
love
Gabapentin
it.
also has anxiolytic properties too. Oh my God. You're so ridiculous. You're
Mhm.
so ridiculous.
Thank you. That was really nice. Real
She's like, I'm
nice.
not done yet. I'm not done yet. So yeah, I do think that that's going to help in terms of getting her under her threshold more often. How do you guys feel about either avoiding walks altogether for the next couple weeks and just focusing on the yard? I know that she doesn't poop in the yard, so we can talk about let's try to see if we can get her to poop in the yard. Or do you still want to be like, you know what, let me try the low volume times of day when there's nobody out and we might try one walk then? Like, what are you guys thinking based on all this?
It just would, it makes me a little sad to think that um, like we can't, not, even can't isn't the right word, but like that we wouldn't be able to work with her, I guess, on some things because I know how smart she is and how I just want it for her, but maybe she doesn't want it for her. Like, I don't know, I just,
Well, like with
yeah,
any behavior that we teach, so if you're teaching your emergency U-turn or your
yes,
look at that, we always
yeah,
start off at home, right? We're going
yeah,
to start off at home in a very low stress environment. Then we're going to move to, let's say you normally do practice sessions in your living room. So we're going to
mm-hmm,
start there, pretty low stakes. Then we're going to do in the bedroom and the kitchen and just different parts of the house. And
mm-hmm,
then we're going to go in the backyard. And
mm-hmm,
then we're going to go on a walk. So a lot of the new behaviors that you're training or skills, we scaffold anyway. So you
okay,
could also think of it as let's use this time not to be like, okay, this is like a punishment necessarily, but to be like, let's get back to baseline. Let's keep her under threshold, focus on
uh-huh,
those foundations in the environment that she can actually learn. And
mm-hmm,
then once those are solidified, that gives her a much better chance of taking that on the road.
okay,
Because we want to practice, we want to go to kindergarten to first grade to grammar school before we go to college, right? And going outside is college level stuff for some dogs. And based on her ability to handle it, that's kind of college level for her. But
yeah,
that might give you the time to be like, okay, if we're going to focus on a look at that, we're going to go back to basics for that, or with the emergency U-turn, whatever the skills are, it can just give you a little bit of a vacation. If you
mm-hmm,
want to start seeing if she can poop in the yard, you can just take her out there more frequently. And if she's more used to going in the yard like off leash, because that's playtime, you can start by taking her out on leash to be like, we're just going to walk around calmly. I'm not going to, engage with her. We're just going to walk around the yard until she either pees or poops. And then she can get a treat for either one of
mm-hmm,
those to be like, thank you, that's what I wanted. And then she can go play and
mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. So it might just be like you said, she views that yard as playtime and not so much as I should pee and poop here.
Right.
What do you think about that? And by the way, you can always say that sucks. I hate that. Let's talk about something else because I want to make sure that this is something feasible for you guys and that we're all on the same page with. You do not have to say yes just because I'm suggesting something.
It's just a big adjustment to our like our mindset. I think I
Sure.
have to think about like how that looks for, yeah, like what
Fair.
we do, how we do it, and when we do it.
And if
Huh.
you're worried about meeting her needs, what are right now, other than needing to poop, what is the
Mhm.
purpose for her walks?
To try to get new sniffs and smells and like engage her brain so that she's not like because I'm a little bit worried that like the amount that she loves playing in the backyard, I like I a little bit worry it works her up because she's so excited sometimes. Like I don't know if it's like an overstimulating thing for her to like play with those toys and pounce on them and do the like the jump and the kick and the jump and the kick. I don't know if that's like a soothing thing for her. I don't know if that's like a stimulating thing for her. I don't know if it's like just her not even thinking about it and she's just out there. So I guess for me, like I don't want her to like have just like a narrow minded like experience or just a narrow experience at all either, so that if she does then like get a new smell or hear a new sound, like I don't want her to go like whoa because it's like
Sure.
it's new. So I guess those are my only thoughts.
Okay. Fair.
I enjoy walking. I
Great.
walked with our dog all the time too. So like I just like it, but
Yeah.
I can do it other ways.
Yeah. So I love both of these perspectives and thank you both for sharing that. So if we have a few different things at play here. So let's say we like walking and we want to enjoy and getting that out. Sure, I can go walk by myself. Is it a bummer that I can't take my dog? Absolutely. We can always revisit the getting in the car part and try to foolproof that, right? Let's see if you can engage with a treat or a Kong or something. If it's the sight of the other cars, you know, for kids, like they have those window shades on the cars, like for the back
Yeah.
seats. You can always try those. Kind of the same deal as the window film. It's not perfect, but it could obscure her vision a little bit, so she can't see at least out the sides. She could
Hmm.
probably still see out the front windshield. So it's not, like I said, it's not perfect, but it at least might minimize the sight of the other cars. You could also play music or something more soothing in the car to help her relax as well, similar to the sound masking that you might use by the sliding door.
Hmm.
So that could be a strategy to be like, okay, we do want to try the walks, but maybe we get in the car and we go somewhere else at a different place that there's going to be less dogs, less people, less triggers. That way
Hmm.
she can still get her smells in. We can get our exercise in. So that's certainly one way to go about it. Another way, and these don't have to be mutually exclusive, is we can try to get her that sensory mental stimulation at
Hmm.
home. So if
Hmm.
the sniffing is an important part of her life, how can we get her to do that at home? So that's
Right.
the other thing. And then the third thing, based on what you described there, is how can we get her to calm herself down? Like just in general, because how much does she sleep during the day? I know that you listed out kind of your normal routine, but about how many hours roughly do you think she sleeps during the day?
I think she probably only sleeps really when we're gone for like 5 hours. And then
Okay.
around like 8:30, she'll start to get herself ready for bed. She's not like fully asleep, but she is like laying down, resting, uh, and getting ready to go to sleep. So I think she probably gets like 10 hours of sleep at night.
Okay,
She's
good.
a good sleeper at night.
I see you.
But I
Lazy in the
know
morning
she
too.
really is. Like she's hard to wake up in the mornings.
Okay.
She wakes up for her food, And then she sleeps on the like love seat. That's her preferred place to sleep. And then she'll eat her food and then she goes back and hops on the love seat again. Um, and like needs to be coaxed to like do anything after that. Like she needs belly rubs, she needs love.
Of course she
So
does.
yeah, so I'm guessing she probably gets like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours of sleep throughout the daytime and then maybe like 9 or 10 hours of sleep overnight.
So this, her being active right now when you guys are home, is she normally this active when you guys are both home?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And is she normally like this, like all up in your face, like play with me, or is she able to self-entertain most of the
Not
time?
all the time.
She's
Okay,
gotten a little bit more lovey as she's been here, and a little bit more affectionate. A lot of times she really wants to be outside if we're home, and she'll like whimper and whine by the door that like leads to the backyard. Um, and then she will like she can self-regulate outside. Like after she plays for a while, she will get hot and have to like lay
sure.
down for a little bit.
You know, she can go in the garage.
Yeah, like so we have it so that like the fenced in backyard, there's a door that leads into the garage too. And so it's like a lot cooler in there too. So we'll leave
Yeah,
that open
good.
and lay down too, and then go back out. Um,
So she's
I
got
would
a
say
pretty good
that
setup.
she does, but she is always like at the drop of a hat, ready to like run out and play. I think she like trends more towards having a hard time just like not doing anything than she does the opposite. Like, I think because we're both sitting in here and we're both by her dog bed and her toys and the places that she likes to be, she picks up on those signals a little bit more that like, okay, like we're just kind of like hanging out. But if we are anywhere near the basement door that goes outside to the yard, it's like game on and
She
she's
knows.
whining, whimpering,
She'll
and
nudge
she's
at the door.
yeah, and she has a hard time just sitting down
Okay.
and relaxing.
Well, I like that she has the yard available and the garage. Like I like that she's got that whole setup for when she's got to get the jitters out.
Yep.
When she needs help, like when she comes back inside and she needs to chill herself out, what do you use? Do you use like lick mats, Kongs? Like what kinds of long-lasting things does she like?
Yeah, she really likes lick mats a lot.
Good.
And or like puzzle slow feeder bowls. We'll put like peanut butter and freeze that in and then put kibble on it.
Love that.
Any of those,
Good.
like, yeah, things that are going to take her a little bit. She does like Kongs also, but she's so smart, but she was getting frustrated by them because they were so frozen. And then she was like
Sure.
abandoned. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're a smart girl. You can figure this out. But like a couple times, like they were too frozen for her liking. You
She's like, this
quit,
is too
didn't
hard
you?
right now.
Yeah, you quit.
I like
Um,
those just because they help in general to decrease arousal. So you can also use those strategically for, I need you to relax because you're
mhm,
going bananas. So continue doing that. Like you said,
uh-huh,
you did the lick mat that one time that she went crazy on the walk and
yeah,
she licked that. So that's good. Um, does she eat kibble then? Right?
yes,
Okay. Does she know how to forage or eat food off the ground?
yes. Yeah,
Great.
I just threw a bunch of stuff on the ground to try to get her from flopping and
Excellent.
waiting.
So, do you do that on walks too, like treat scatters, or do you do that in the yard?
I'm trying to think if we've
I've
tried it on.
tried the scatter on walks that she doesn't totally go for it.
Okay. And it might be
She'll,
because she's too,
she'll just not know that the food's on the ground or the
okay.
treats are on.
Well, we can start with some scent work options to be like,
That
okay,
would be
regardless of if we get out or not, let's use our nose because
yeah.
that's mentally stimulating for her and it gets her steps in. There's a few different ways we can do that. We can start with simple scatter feedings. I do this with my dogs during mealtime. So they get a bunch of different stuff, but I save a portion of their kibble and I just chuck it all over the first floor of the house. That's basically what I do. I just chuck it
Uh-huh.
everywhere and then they have to just wander around and it takes them like 10 minutes to like look and find them all. Sometimes because I have terriers, they like to destroy things. I'll take like empty toilet paper tubes, the cardboard. I'll tie an end, put some kibble in there, tie an end, and then like hide them in little places so that they have to shred it and tear it apart. So
Uh-huh.
that's good mental stimulation and sniffing involved. So that's one thing you can do. You can also try games like Find It, where you're actually like just tossing it out there and having her go find it. So there's
Mm-hmm.
other ways we can incorporate getting her scent work skills to meet that need.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of her running around, like she does a lot of running around on her own, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Um, she's got a I don't know if it's her prey drive with bunnies and squirrels and all that. Have you heard of a flirt pole or have you tried a flirt pole with her?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I
A flirt have you heard of a flirt pole? Let's start with that.
don't think so.
Okay. Have you had cats before?
No.
Okay. You've probably seen this. When you've seen it on TV or in movies, you've seen like that wand and then the
Yeah.
like string and the little thing hanging off of there. It's like a fishing little rod, right? Imagine that for dogs. But
Okay.
instead of just a little rod, it's like a PVC pipe with a rope in it. And then the rope goes down, and tied to the rope is like a stuffed squeaky thing that looks like a squirrel or whatever. And you
Uh-huh.
essentially like just use it to be like, You're going to catch this." You allow her to catch the thing because
Okay.
for dogs that have a high prey drive, that's what they want to do. They want to catch it. They want to
Yeah.
like kill it and dissect it and eat it. That's what they would do in the wild. So using a flirt pole is a way to do that kind of in a safe way as a game. So
Okay.
I'll send it to you as an option in terms
Yep.
of if you want to try it. If not, no big deal. Um, I think for now, as far as what our big winners are for helping her behaviors are going to be lots of management in terms of let's try to prevent her from rehearsing the behaviors we don't want for now. She so easily goes over threshold. So the more that we can remove each and every trigger, the better chances she's going to be to stay under that threshold. So the film on the window, sound masking by that sliding door, and then for management for walks, we can either go at times of day where we're going to be sure there's very few people and other dogs. I would see if you can, I would maybe toy around with if you do something with her at home before you go. Like
Okay. Like
if
try to
you, yeah, yeah, like if you engage with her and play with her and then go for the walk, does that make the walk more relaxing for her or does that amp her up? I don't know. It could go either way, so I would just be curious to see what that does for the arrangement. Have you tried
okay.
that before, or now that you think of it?
I
I
do it with her in the afternoon. Like I'll put my equipment away out of my truck and like let her run around in the backyard before we go, and we'll play a little bit. And like some days it works, some days it doesn't.
Okay, fair. That tells me that then. Okay, so maybe we don't have to trial and eval because we already have, and it's just not consistent. Okay, so if walking at that time of day continues to be a struggle, like she's over threshold most of the time, she's difficult to control, plan B is getting her in the car and going somewhere else.
Mhm.
If she's having meltdowns in the car, we can try the window screens, we can try putting music on. If you are fortunate enough to have a place that's not so far away,
Mhm.
maybe the 2 minute freak out meltdown is worth the 15-minute walk around the complex, right? Like you kind of have to take your like judge from there. I think
Yeah.
once eventually she's done with her course of her antibiotics, you can reiterate to the vet staff, I think this would be a good option. Can we try that out? You can even let them know now that you are
Yeah.
planning to explore that so they just can have the wheels in motion for when that happens.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely right. Once you start a medication like that, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to like really load in her system. And even then, that's just it loading at the baby dose. Then you might
Yeah.
be like, it's not doing anything. Okay, well, maybe we need to adjust the dose a little higher. And that's going to take like 3 weeks. And then maybe we need to adjust the dose a little higher. And all the
Mhm.
while, we're trying to get to the point where you're seeing positive effects in her behavior. So you want to see her more calm, easier
Mhm.
to redirect, staying under threshold more often without seeing the negative side effects. Because if you do start to see that she's lethargic all the time, her appetite goes down. Some of those are expected within like the first few days, but then go away. If they
Hmm.
don't go away, like they're persisting, that's not what we want. So make sure to mention that to the staff. That way they can either change things up or whatever they need to do, because it might mean that's just not the right drug or the right dose for her.
Okay, makes sense.
How does all of that sound? I know we were a little bit all over the place with the things. You guys are already doing a lot. So I think even regardless of what you do with like the walking at least, I think you can use your at-home time to be like, we can still get you some sensory stimulation with the sniffing stuff. We can still get
Hmm.
you mental stimulation by really honing in on practicing look at that, emergency
Hmm.
burn, flight cue, whatever, starting
Hmm.
from a relaxing environment. Then we do that in the yard, right? That's what we call proofing. We're
Yeah,
making it little by little harder and harder instead of going
mhm,
straight from living room to the real world.
right. That makes sense. Because you're right, like we can't expect her to like do these things at like the most difficult thing that it's going to be for her in a day
Right,
whenever she's not doing it when she's not stressed out.
right. So that gives you that opportunity to at least get that done. And that increases your bonding with her, like the more that you do like little training sessions. And it doesn't have to be a lot, just a few minutes a day is probably enough for her. She's got enough energy to burn anyway that she can relax on her own, she can self-entertain on her own. She's a sweetheart. She just needs to kind of cope with the world around her, but she's a sweet dog.
She's come a long way because she was like a little bit like feral like when she came to like live in the house because like I don't think she spent much time indoors and like she just kind of would like I don't know like she just like viewed us as her roommates like okay we're all here like this is great like thanks but like now she's like showing like affection and she's like kind of like demonstrating that she understands like the routines and what we all do together and like it's really nice to see that yeah because she does have a good heart she's just tormented by the world outside a little bit so
Yeah. And we can absolutely build on those skills to help her cope with cars, to people, to dogs. But we're going to be fighting a losing battle if we're constantly doing that when she's over threshold.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts?
um I guess a little bit just like yes, you. I know it's almost dinner time, huh? In terms of like her pulling on the leash and stuff, can we just like assume that's because of all the triggers that she's seeing too? Like, is there anything we could be doing separately to teach better leash skills, or do we need her to like minimize her triggers before we can like, I guess, think about leash skills? But I guess too, if we're working on these other things first, that probably is not like that's like not a priority at the moment.
I
Um,
mean, regardless of if it's a priority, it's still something you can work on. It's certainly one of those behaviors that you can be like, cool, let's practice this at home for when we get back out there, right?
okay,
There's a few different ways that you can go about it. One of the most simple ways is just reward her for looking at you and just checking in with you.
okay,
It's like one of the most basic ways you do that, especially when she's so food motivated. So she looks at you, thank you, you get a treat. She looks at you, yes, get a treat. She looks at you,
okay.
yes, get a treat. That way, when she's on walks, regardless of what's going on and what's catching her attention, we can change that. Let me back up. We can graduate from her looking at you, she gets a treat, to you saying a word that causes her to look at you. So now you're
Okay.
requesting her attention. That's one way. We can also do it where every time we go on a walk, we're playing a game, like a
Hmm.
pattern game. So
Hmm.
pattern games where I'm counting one, two, three, treat. We take a step, one, two, three, treat. It just makes it predictable so that she knows every 3 steps or every 3 seconds or so, I'm going to be getting a treat. Therefore, I am more in tune with whoever my handler is that's walking me. So that's another way
Okay.
that you can go about it. Both of
Okay.
these things are things that you can still practice at home
Uh-huh.
and in different rooms of the house and in the
Mhm.
yard before you take it outside.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's certainly going to make it harder if there's lots of triggers around, but the more
Yeah.
that we can cement this as being almost muscle memory, the
Mm.
easier time you might have.
Okay, that makes
Good
sense.
questions. I know I've thrown a lot at you. I'm going to send you a training worksheet that's going to have a lot of these things written down in more detail. The worksheet is designed where it's going to have hyperlinks where you click on it and it takes you to something else that has lots more information. Don't get overwhelmed by
Okay.
all of the clicks and all of the links, especially with the body language resources. There's like a million of them. I do think that they're important, not just for her, but for, any dogs that you're
Yeah.
going to be working with. So revisit them at your leisure, right? I think right now, noticing for her what it looks like when she's getting aroused versus when she's coming back down, I think is going to be helpful. We call those ladders of escalation and de-escalation. I think those will be more useful for you. So direct your attention to those and I'll jot that down for you. Everything
Okay.
else, as much as I'll have things written out, like do this, this, and this, do it in the order of importance that you feel is right for you and for your guys' situation.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about anything, you can always reach me over email. We can troubleshoot things. You can send me progress updates. You can send me videos, whatever you want to do. I'll be here for you.
Thank you.
You.
I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that you'll be sending us things to look back through and click back through so we can mull things over better too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, it was lovely meeting everybody. I'll be sending that off before the end of the day. Everybody have a
Yeah.
good weekend.
See
Thanks.
ya.
You
See you
Bye.
later.
too.
Bye-bye.